I'm feeling good. I like a dude who fucked his life up and then gets it back together with purpose. Let's go, Chad!
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Good Bro, Bad Bro, the podcast for young men helping improve their lives when it comes to dating and overall just becoming a better bro. I'm joined by my good buddy Cringe Daddy today, and we're going to be breaking down the current state of dating. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we jump in here, buddy.
Buddy, Cringe Daddy, Jack Denmo's apprentice, Jack Denmo best channel on YouTube. I've been doing my own thing on TikTok, dropping a lot of videos with Tinder advice for all the dudes on there, and excited to be a part of Good Bro, Bad Bro today.
All right, so we're going to get into the history of our own journeys as guys that kind of became aware of the truth of life when it comes to getting girls and what they like and how to make dating work in the current landscape. Because guys, we are in unprecedented times when it comes to dating. Like, it's totally different than it was for our parents. It's completely opposite of what it was for our grandparents. Back then, you could actually be nice and just marry the girl next door and start a farm and call it a day. When did you kind of wake up to the idea of like it not being what you were told it was when it came to interacting with girls?
It's the story of all of this suffering and embarrassment in my entire life. But
yeah,
dude, so I had this girl in high school, like high school girlfriend, and we ended up dating from the time I was like 17 to the time I was like 21, like 4 years. Mm-hmm. And it was very serious. Like, we talked about like marriage, kids, buying a house, all this kind of stuff. And when she got into university, she entered the real world, and she was still in this high school relationship with me that was very much like lovey-dovey, like a Disney movie kind of relationship where, we thought everything was just going to be fine and dandy.
What was your plan? Like, you just thought like that's the one, eh?
Bro, yeah, I was like, this is the love of my life, like my high school sweetheart. Like, this is the plan here. Mm-hmm. And she actually had like two older sisters, and they were both like engaged to their high school sweethearts. So I was like, oh, I'm next in line. Like, this is a setup thing. Like, we're good to go. And like, I didn't know what I was doing with my life at all. Mm-hmm. And so I was actually taking a victory lap in high school when she was first year in university. So I was even behind her. Mm-hmm. But in university, she got like an internship at like the city, like doing like, big girl work and everything like that. Not working at McDonald's anymore. And she met this like 30-year-old, like, I say 30, he was like 27, but in my head, he was like a 30-year-old.
Yeah.
Guy had like the big salary, he had a car, he had an apartment, everything like that. And like throughout the summer that she was at that internship, like she started hanging out with me less and less and less and less. I was like, oh, she's probably just busy. She got a job and everything like that.
So at this point, you're like, what, 20?
I'm around like 20, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, bro. And
we know where this is going. Keep going, yeah.
So she was nice enough to wait until my birthday, which is in September.
Yeah.
But like, bro, we hadn't clapped cheeks for like months at that point.
Okay.
And she would always go to like these like softball like tournaments with work, and like they'd drink after, and like I thought nothing of it, and I was like, oh, can I come out? She's like, oh no, it's just kind of for the teams and things like that.
One thing to keep in mind right here too, guys, if his birthday is in September, that means that the couple months prior when he's not clapping cheeks, it's not like she was away at school. Like, that's summertime. So she was back home in the same city as you.
Oh yeah, we'd hang out once in a while.
Yeah.
But like, the sexual tension was gone from her end. Like, I was like, yo, like, let's go. And she's like, oh, I'm just not feeling it. I'm not into it. Maybe next time. Yeah. And so yeah, she waited till my birthday. She got me tickets to go see Joe Rogan stand-up comedy in Toronto. It's like, this is the best birthday present ever. Yeah. And like, literally the next day I got dumped, and I didn't know why. She wouldn't tell me why. It was over the phone.
Phone call.
Over the phone, not even in person. So she couldn't do it on my birthday, called me the next day. And I found out through friends who sent me shit from her Instagram. Like, a couple weeks later, she's at the Leafs game with this like 30-year-old guy from her summer job.
And she's posting it?
Yeah.
So she was proud to like show off that she was with this guy on her social media, but not you, within a week.
Yeah. And they were like Instagram official. Like, oh yeah, my boyfriend, so-and-so. Like, it's like it had been in the works for a while. Because couples, like, day one, like, they don't put up a photo on their Instagram together. Like, that's usually something that takes like 1 to 3 months into a relationship to do. Yeah. So yeah, needless to say, buddy, like, over time I realized like I'd been probably getting cheated on for months, even if not physically, like emotionally.
There's a lot we can dive into here, buddy.
There's so much, but that was the moment where the fucking Disney dream died, where
Right
like
there.
chivalry died. The gentleman within me shriveled into a little ball, and I went into a deep depression over that shit, man. But
Yeah, I bet you
that
did.
really taught me a lot about female nature.
So you were 21 when you jumped in the pool, pretty much.
Pretty much, buddy.
And before you started dating her, like, did you fuck any other chicks?
Like 4 other girls, yeah.
Yeah, so you're under 10 though still.
Yeah.
You're like pretty new.
I'd say I was like pretty wholesome at that point.
Yeah. Okay, so one thing you touched on too, I bet that when she posted the photo on the old gram, it probably looked and felt like all her friends already knew and were expecting that, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think like my friends didn't want to tell me, but they're like, bro, you should probably know. Cause like I was still calling her and calling her house and stuff like, oh, like, are you going to change your mind? Cause she just told me like she needed time away from me.
Oh, afterwards.
Yeah. Like it wasn't like,
Yeah.
it was like, we're done. But like, I'm not like, she said we're done and then kind of retracted and was like, oh, I just need time to think. She didn't have like the guts to like tell me like what was really going on.
It wasn't face to face.
No, no, I haven't seen her since.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, you want to know a crazy story, bro?
Yeah.
And maybe this is getting too personal, but
Sure.
she actually ended up allegedly getting engaged to that guy.
How many years later?
Like a couple of years later. And then allegedly, I don't know any details. This is just what you hear through the grapevine.
All alleged.
The day of their wedding, like it doesn't happen.
No way.
It doesn't happen. And apparently like things fell off because she met another guy.
Oh,
And
dude.
yeah.
So the cycle continued.
And I don't know what's going on with that. I stopped for my mental health, just stopped looking.
Yeah.
Stop looking into that.
I know that's the thing that a lot of guys struggle with. They go on Instagram and they kind of keep track of their girl or their ex, and they see what they're doing. But they don't really do it in a matter of like, this is kind of funny to look at or like just purely curious, good terms kind of thing. It's more of like who's that guy? Who's the one that replaced? You know? And what's interesting is sometimes you'll look up a girl you used to date and there hasn't been a replacement yet, which says a lot, bro.
Yeah.
But one of the things that is pretty interesting is that you kind of realize this about a year into university where you were still back at home and the girl has gone away. And now, for those of you that live under a rock, when a girl goes to university or college, that first year is the beginning of a huge projection towards peak market value in the dating world, right? First year university, all of a sudden you're away from your mom and dad. Maybe you had a couple kills in high school, made out with some dudes, whatever. You had a boyfriend back home, like all around nice guy, good status, liked by others, has value within that small high school bubble, right? That small neighborhood bubble. But then once she steps into the university world, all of a sudden you have usually the preppy kids, the kids that could afford university, high status, good looking, intelligent people go away to university. And they're kind of like the best of their high school as far as like the superficiality of like, plays on the sports team, good looking, all that. All of a sudden, all of them go away to this place where there's no parents. Everybody has alcohol. They're going out for the first time, drinking. There's classes. Like, it's just a complete sensory overload when it comes to the amount of people you're meeting and things you're doing that are new to you. So there's just a big wow factor, right? And when you're a hot girl, or even just an average girl, we're talking like a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, and you're in that first year experience, if you're in residence, that's a whole other game changer too, dude. When you're in residence, man, you live with like 100 other people in your building, and then that's just one of many buildings. You got like 4 or 5 people in your room, and on that floor, there's 5 other rooms. I mean, instantly you just have 100 new friends and like a shitload of dudes, right? We're talking guys anywhere from the age of generally 18 to 25. When I went to residence, actually, first year, there was guys there on campus that were like 28 to 30. There were women in their late 20s. Basically, compared to that high school pool of like skinny 17 and 18-year-old guys, boyfriend back home, you got this huge new batch of just high-level options, right?
Yeah.
So now you got the week, everybody's meeting and talking to each other. You got the all the new classes you're in, and university is a giant money grab, right? So they want everybody to have the best fucking time ever for like the first couple weeks, arguably the first semester. So there's just like hot toga party. There's fucking slip and slide. You got all these huge bar events.
Oh yeah.
Paint party, that's a big one. There's just all these opportunities to socialize. So right away, like anybody back home just takes a back seat. Like that first year college / university experience is the coolest thing ever for somebody that the only reference point they have is like high school in their small hometown.
Yeah. Especially if you have strict parents and that's your first taste of like any kind of freedom.
Yeah.
Holy man.
Absolutely.
People go buck wild. What
Yeah.
do you have to say to guys watching this who are maybe like in high school right now? Maybe they have a girlfriend and like, let's say summer comes up, they choose their schools. She's going out of town. Maybe he's sticking back or going to a different school.
Yeah.
Do you think long distance relationships work? And in particular in a university environment?
That's a good question. I would say if I was giving advice to guys that are in grade 12 right now and they have another semester until they graduate and then they're going to go away to university, or the girl they're dating is, man, you got to improve your status and value really quick, okay? Because you're going to be competing with guys, like I said, that are 18 to 30 that are taller, wealthier, have more status. I mean, they're going to come into the school, maybe the same school all their friends picked. So right away, they have a huge social circle. They already have an established party house that they can throw parties at. They have all these ways they can provide value to people. And those are things that girls want to go to. They want to go to house parties. They want to hang out with the guys that are popular. They want to go and see the team football game and whatever. And if you got these guys that are like 2 or 3 years into their program and they're playing in front of everybody, they're treated like, you know, like a bit of a local celebrity. Like all of these guys just blow the hometown dudes out of the water completely. So you really have to have a firm grip on the idea of a relationship. And that comes from you being higher value, if not equal value, to the guys that are going to meet your girl in university and college. Now, how do you get to that high value? Real question.
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah. Especially from high school, right? Because when I was in high school, I didn't really have any value, you know, because you didn't need any value. Everybody just kind of like hung out with each other and nobody really took anything that seriously, right? We didn't understand the true nature of dating. We just thought, oh, like if you like a girl, you ask her out, go and talk to her. And then if you go to a party together, you guys drink and then, you know, you make out. And then after that, you go to each other's houses when their parents aren't there and you smash, hopefully. That's pretty much what my high school was like. But yeah, it was a lot simpler back then, right? You could, you know, not do much and it kind of worked. And nowadays, I feel bad for the guys that are in high school nowadays because they have social media.
Oh yeah.
Deadly.
It makes things like hyper competitive, eh? Like everyone on social media is putting their best foot forward on there.
Yeah.
See this on Tinder too. Like they say something like 20% of the men are getting like 80% of the matches on Tinder.
Yeah. Here's a stat I got for you, actually. You're going to like this one. 76% of Tinder users in America are male.
Yeah. That's going to provide a pretty big discrepancy right off the bat when you're looking at matching people up, eh?
Yeah, right off the bat, total L. Universities on average are actually, I believe, 55 to 57% women. There's actually more women at universities. That's because men, we learn differently, and the school system favors women just based purely on advantages women have naturally. For example, memory recollection. They just have better memories of stuff. That's why girls are always bringing up shit from 3 years ago that you did, because they just have that extra brain matter that holds old memories, bro. Like they're archaeologists. Yeah.
They bring shit up I don't even remember, and I just take their word for it. I was like, oh, I did that? Like, all right.
Yeah, right? Memory recollection, that's
Sounds
what gets,
legit.
you know, that's what gets you better performance based on tests and stuff too, right? Anyways, though, there's lots of reasons that there's more women in university, but one of the things that I would say is a big difference between high school and university, that transitionary period, is everybody else besides your home school and parents actually matters, right? So, for example, up until the end of high school is life, bro. Like, your status in high school is your status in life. It's really frustrating for some people because they get bullied, they get left out, they go through lots of dark times. Like I had some shit times in high school, you know. I hung out with a pretty interesting group of people, man. I had a couple good friends, and I had guys that I would talk to a lot in class, but what we do is we form a clique for recess. So you could have friends in one class, you could have friends in another class, you could have friends you say hi to in the hallway. But during recess, you had the same group of friends.
That's where the truth comes out.
Yeah. Recess is like, okay, who are you with every single day?
Pick a team.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're not on a good team, or if you don't have a team, it's a rough fucking time, man. Like, I feel like kids nowadays, they literally go in the bathroom on their phone during lunch. Like, remember the old joke was like people that eat lunch by themselves in the bathroom? Like, you know, you see their feet in the stall, but their pants aren't down.
I was in the stall like smoking cigarettes, man.
I was in the stall smoking hash off hot knives.
Yeah, right? Wasn't on my fucking phone.
It could be rough for some people. Like, I hung out with a lot of the stoner kids, and like, you know, some of them would get into fights, some of them would sell drugs, and we were all really funny. That was probably the only thing we had in common. But you know, it was different than the preppy kids. It was different than like the cheerleader girls, the sports guys. It was different than like the tech guys. We had a group of guys in high school that were like metalheads, and they all had long hair.
Oh yeah.
They wore like band t-shirts. They had full beards at the age of 15.
Those guys were sick.
Those guys are really cool. But when you're navigating like the dating world, it's kind of weird to look back to in high school because it's been a couple of years. But I think there was like an established idea that you had to be pretty close in status to the people you went out with, right? The preppy kids all dated each other. You know, it's funny actually. You probably experienced this too. There's like 3 or 4 people that all date each other in the preppy group. There's usually one girl.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Bro, she goes through the same friend group, right? Because they're all the same status.
And it kind of breaks like the rule number 1 of the bro code. That's like, don't hook up with your buddy's ex or his sister.
Yeah.
And that's like all they're doing.
Literally.
I never understood that. Like, I wouldn't be able to be friends with those guys.
See, this is before we're fully matured. We don't know what's going on because we're like getting pussy for the first time. It's like a witch's spell. You know, you forget about your bros. You become a bad bro.
Yeah.
You know?
Good bro, bad bro.
And guess how it gets sorted out in high school?
Well,
Fights, bro.
yeah.
So many fucking fights over, yo, bro, how you going out? I remember this one guy. You remember when people used to trip each other on Facebook? Like,
Yeah, the wall to wall.
yeah, wall to wall, bro.
Yeah.
The wall to wall. And then everybody else would comment and tag, and there'd be older grades getting in there.
Do you remember when back in the day when it was wall to wall on Facebook and there was no messenger? And if you want to like wheel a girl on Facebook, you had to like write something flirty on her wall.
Yeah.
But then everyone in her family and friends could see that shit.
Yeah, so you had to hide it.
Yeah, and she'd have to like comment on your wall and like write something back on your wall.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The old classics for those were TBH. Remember those?
Oh yeah.
Like this for a to be honest.
Yeah.
To be honest, like you're kind of cute, like, you know, but you never talk to me. Like shit like that. Just like passive peacocking.
Oh yeah.
You know what I used to see a lot, and I probably did this too. A girl does like a like for a to be honest, and all these dudes that like think they have a shot, they're like, oh yeah, here we go.
Oh yeah.
Hit the like, and then they'll comment on your wall because if they don't, it's like not inviting a kid to a birthday party, right? It's like leaving them out. But they'll comment like, you know, to be honest, like you seem nice.
We don't talk that much, but you seem like a great person.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, like you seem pretty smart.
Yeah.
You know, very like, I'm not interested, but like, don't kill me. But dude, yeah, kids would fight each other. I remember one time though, this one kid I knew, he went to another high school. He was dating this girl since grade 9. And then halfway through grade 12, they broke up and she started banging his buddy and they started dating. And they all went to the same school. Awful situation. Oh. But I remember he put on Facebook one day, he's like, yo, I just took a couple bites out of this sandwich, but I didn't finish it. You want the rest of that too? But it was so funny. But looking back, I'm like, man, what a so stupid.
What a tweet.
But back then, dude, that's like, I never want to talk to you again shit, you know?
Yeah. Those are fighting words, man.
Because a lot of these guys, the girl that they would break up with and their buddy would start dating, like that's their only kill, you know?
Yeah, it's a big deal back then.
It's one-itis.
Oh my God. Did you ever suffer from like one-itis back in the day? Like, do you have a story like that?
A little bit,
Where
yeah.
Someone stole your girl?
I've never had somebody directly steal my girl, but indirectly, absolutely, right? Because, you know, like you were alluding to when your girl left you, she probably was seeing somebody else. But I didn't have to go through that whole like they're publicly together, posting on social media, and then all your friends are letting you know, like,
The worst.
that's not good. But yeah, I remember I was like kind of seeing this girl for a bit. We were like talking, hanging out. We made each other artwork and shit, which was interesting because like I was used to be like an artsy crafty guy. I was like 16, 17. And then yeah, one day she just decided like she wasn't into me. And then I didn't really get the hint. I didn't know what was going on. And then it was summertime, bro. And like I had to sit there for 2 or 3 months with like nothing to do until like I got a job, and that ended up getting me like it off my mind. But yeah, like when you're kind of seeing somebody or dating a girl, and then all of a sudden, boom, right at the end of June, you stop seeing each other. You have those 2 months where you're at home and like you're not around everybody in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So your social circle's totally different. You're not working. All you have is time to just let your mind wander, and that's the devil's workshop, right?
Sure.
So yeah, I went through one of those bad.
Yeah. How'd you cope with that, man?
Bro, I just like laid in bed. Fucking sucked. I was sleeping in every day. I was like, you know, staying up till like 4 a.m. Playing video games.
Watching Riley Reid videos. Just
No.
on repeat.
Never really was a porn guy.
Okay, nice.
But dude, I remember I was drinking energy drinks a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I would look forward to having an energy drink on a Friday and then like fucking playing video games. I was like 17.
Damn.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just not the healthiest way to cope with a breakup.
No.
Like, as you were kind of talking about earlier, in 2022, man, like, it's too competitive in the dating landscape, and with like social media and technology at the forefront,
Yeah.
it's too competitive out there to like, you know, just sit around and play video games all the time and not really do anything with your time, not be productive. Like
dude.
if you're not like continually developing yourself and trying to get 1% better every day in like many different facets of your life, like other guys are, and they're the ones that are getting the girls.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I was saying before, like when you're in high school, it's a totally different bubble, right? Because nobody's really expected to be having like a serious job. Everybody's driving their parents' cars. Nobody has money. Like everybody has free time. Like when you're rich, you can do what you want. You can go to specific places. You can get certain materialistic goods, get your own place. But like there was no expectation for anybody to have that till about your mid-20s. Up until then, as far as like money goes, it's very like, you know, everybody's in the same kind of boat, right? So yeah, in high school, nobody really has any status just besides like being the popular kid. Or one advantage I've seen, if you're European, bro, like Portuguese or Italian, you have this huge family, bro. Like you have all these like weddings, you have all these fucking birthday celebration, you got 50 people there. So I find there's actually a lot of guys that are used to being around large groups of men and women. And from a young age, they know how to handle social situations. And that gives them a real one-up. And I think that that carries over to having leadership skills when it comes to talking to girls. Because if every time you get together with your family, you're talking to 40, 50 people, and you're getting together with your family like more than 2 or 3 times a year, like your average white family does, you're just so used to being social that the skills rub off on you, man. Like your uncles, your grandparents, all the guys I know that are Italian, man, like they're in like lovey-dovey relationships to this day because they're just built different, man.
Damn, bro. The big family effect. So what are some keys to success for dating in 2022?
Well, segueing back to the guys that are making the leap from high school to university, or their girls are, first of all, you just have to accept the reality. Chances are the girl's probably going to leave you. And it's not even your fault, realistically. There's just better options for her. Like, when you're in a group of like 100 to 150 people, you could be pretty great. You guys could live next door to each other, dating since grade 10, never going to break up, whatever. But Pandora's box is opening when she leaves the house, man. Like, a lot of girls actually break up with their boyfriends when they go away to university, too, because they're going to be a couple hours away, right? They don't want to be around their parents. They don't want to stick around. They want to get out of there. I remember when I was fucking 18, 19 years old, I wanted to be as far away as I could from my parents. I'm like, yo, this school 3 hours away, that's where I want to go. Number one, you just got to mentally prepare that if you're in a long distance relationship and your girlfriend's going away to university, she's going to leave you. She's probably going to meet another guy, and she's not going to let you know till probably Thanksgiving.
I think it's a better call to just cut it off before it gets to that point.
Yeah. What I would advise is not to just like outright be like, yo, like you're going to break up with me 8 months from now anyways. Fuck you.
Yeah.
To the side of
say
the road.
that.
No. But you got to mentally prepare, and then you have to start acting that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're crazy and motivated and you don't want this to happen, you really like the girl, you still have to accept the reality she's probably going to leave you. However, if you can manage to keep her interested enough in you and provide high levels of value despite her going away, then that's a good incentive for you to really improve your status and social skills, right? So for example, you have like 4 or 5 months to work with here. First of all, you got to get your fitness on point, right? Start lifting weights, start working out if you're not already. Just improve your size, because a lot of the time, some of the features that'll make guys seem older and more attractive are their size, their body, right? Their grooming, stuff like that. Something about high schoolers, man, they all wear fucking hoodies. They all wear snapbacks and Jordans.
Just sweatpants and shit.
Bro, like, they look like walking billboards, man. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember when I was like 18, 19, I thought that was the shit, dude. I had a snapback, I had a graphic hoodie, and I was like, yeah, like, I look cool because all my friends look like that. But like, man, all the girls were banging dudes that are like dressed up nice. They got like dress shirts on. They have pants that fit right. They have style. They take care of their accessories and shit. So that's another one. You want to dress older than you are. The reality is women are attracted to guys that are generally 5 to 10 years older than them, especially that sweet spot of like 25 to 35. That's when guys really shine because their bodies are at a good size physically, their grooming's on point, they have status, they have social skills, and they have enough discretionary income that they can actually dress like adults as opposed to just throwing on a hoodie and sweatpants, bro.
That's it. The 3 C's: car, career, and condo.
That's right too. You're gonna have a car. That's a huge advantage if you have a vehicle, like we were gonna talk about earlier. Logistics, man. That's number one.
So important.
Logistics in college is like, okay, well, you're in the fucking same building as like potentially 100 girls.
Like, yo, do you want to come bring me a phone charger really quick?
Literally.
That's the logistics there.
Do you want to go out for a smoke? I don't even smoke, but my roommate is. Do you want to just go stand outside? And you don't even have to text. You could just knock on the door. Or, you know what I used to do? I think I was like 18. I would go up to the door with my ear, and I would wait till like the girl I liked, I could hear her voice in the hallway. I'm like, oh yeah, she's going outside. And then I would just like casually, oh yeah, what's up? Like I'm coming downstairs too.
Some borderline stalking shit, but
Oh, bro, we all did it, man.
yeah.
So you have to be doing some high value shit too, right? Like what we just learned, right? Like you were still doing your victory lap, which is like the extra year of high school,
Yeah.
which I did too.
Pretty low value if you ask me.
Pretty fucking low value. When you're in high school, it's like whatever.
I was
like,
taking fucking like gym and science or something in
Oh,
grade
dude.
13. Like bullshit.
wood shop.
I just didn't want to be done yet.
Yeah. Bro, just made up classes
Yeah.
pretty much. Had like fucking 1 or 2 credits to do.
For real.
Super chill. And I think 50% of like the kids that I knew, they did grade 13 as well. But like grade 13 versus like first year university, fuck, dude. Not even remotely close.
Not even close, bro.
No. Grade 13, nobody's like meeting fucking 100 new people. Nobody's like going out to all these new places, right? Like if you've snuck it into a bar when you're 17, or like you guys hit the one club in Burlington or wherever you're from, that's one thing. But like university, they have like fucking 5 to 10 bars and clubs that are like legendary places, man. Like dollar beers Monday, half price wings Wednesday, fucking karaoke Thursday, girls get in free Friday, fucking
Oh my God.
dude, it's a business, right?
Yeah.
There's literally a business to get young people to go out and spend money, right? So like, what did you do this weekend? Oh, like I went to fucking 5 parties, 2 clubs, 2 bars. Like, you know, my school had a meetup. What did you do? Oh, me and the boys smoked weed and played fucking Xbox. Not even close, man. That jump from
rough.
high school to post-secondary.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what you're playing with, guys. Like, I could be like, yeah, like, you know, you could just work out and be confident, blah, blah. But, like, status comes into play around 18, 19. Like, that's when shit gets started. People are stupid. We love spectacles. I remember when I was 18, I was a bonehead. I thought drinking was super cool. I was like, yo, like, let's go to the club this weekend. Fuck yeah. Like, that's crazy. I was so drunk, you know, like, the pure fact that it's, like, new and everybody's doing it, like, it's hype.
Yeah.
You need hype. So fitness on point, start dressing like an adult. That's on point. Have a plan too. That's a big thing. I didn't really have a fucking plan in high school. Did you?
Bro, I thought I was going to be a rock star.
Yeah.
Yo, I failed grade 10. and like had to switch high schools because they're like, buddy, like, what are you doing here?
Really?
Yeah, man.
Fuck.
Yeah. So like my plan before I failed grade 10 was like, yo, I'm gonna like drop out of high school and be the next like Metallica. That was the goal.
Yeah.
And yeah, switched schools. The second one was way more strict, so they really like whipped me into shape a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, got in that relationship that actually like really helped me turn shit around in my life at the time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why?
I think it's like she came from like an Italian family. They're super strict and shit, and they're like, oh, you got like spacers in your ears, like take that shit out if you come to my house, that kind of stuff. So yeah, they're pretty conservative, and I was like, I like this girl, so I'm gonna like, you know, whip myself into shape a little bit.
Okay.
And improve my life to like be in this situation.
So did you get a job?
Yeah, man. Got a job, started working at the mall, started working retail. Bro, that's where I think I got like most of my social skills in life to this day, is just working like shitty jobs at the mall.
Yeah.
Because you're forced to like talk to people all day whether you want to or not.
Customer service.
Yeah. Customer service is a big one, man. I feel like those jobs are dying now with like Amazon and stuff. And,
absolutely.
And Schmovid.
I would say that getting your first job in high school, that's a big status increase right away.
Oh, yeah.
Because up until that point, your entire life is like your parents just give you money, right?
Yeah.
But then when you have your own job, not only do you have money to spend, but it like you earned it, right? So it's like, yo, like it means more now.
You can kind of buy cool shit with it too.
Yeah.
Like I remember buying like a $700 bass guitar.
Yeah.
Which at the time, like kids in high school were all playing Squires.
Oh, yeah.
And
Practice
guitars.
guitars.
I had like a real Fender.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It was a huge flex at the time.
Plus, as fucking dumb as it is, which I disagree with, but clothing, man, status symbol.
Yeah.
When you're like 17, 18 and you get like, you know, some name brand shit, some new stuff, shoes, that's a big thing, man. And I'm telling you, like, what's funny is guys only actually compete with other guys when it comes to clothing. Like, women definitely pay attention to name brand shit, but like girls don't give a fuck about Jordans. They don't care about a hoodie of a certain brand. They don't care about a fucking fancy snapback you have, or even like a wristwatch or any of that shit.
Yeah.
What they care about is style, how it fits you, how other guys that dress like that are, right? So if you want to dress like a fucking SoundCloud rapper, then sure, it'll attract girls that are into SoundCloud rappers. But if you want to dress like a man that grooms himself, then you're not going to be getting all that fucking Supreme shit, you know?
Yeah.
Or shoes, bro.
Shoes are huge right now, man. I was never really a sneakerhead. Like, did you ever get into that stuff?
No, bro.
No.
I remember one time I ordered like 12 snapbacks. I found a distributor,
Holy shit.
wholesaler from like China or some shit. And I thought they all looked really cool. And I liked the idea of like hanging them in my room as decorations.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. At first I'm like, I'll wear some of them. I put one or two on my head. I was like, this looks fucking stupid.
Yeah, man. I remember those days.
Yeah. I think I have some photos of me wearing snapbacks.
Yeah, pull those up.
But yeah, so that's a big status changer, guys. Get a job if you're in high school. So start working out, get a job. Now you have income. Also, when you have a job, you tolerate less bullshit because you have things you have to do. If somebody's taking too long telling you something, or, you know, someone's like, hey, we have to do this project. It's like, yo, like I have somewhere I have to be at a certain time. You essentially leverage that you have places to be. So if you have places to be, that means you have options for your time. Your options might not be like, hey, I'm going to go hang out with a cool girl or this cool group of dudes. Your options may be like, I'm going to go work at KFC. But your option is basically like, I'm going to go make money.
Yeah.
So that actually makes people respect your time more, which translates better with girls too. Because now if girls are like, hey, like, I don't know if we can hang out tonight. It's like, well, let me know now. And if they don't let you know in time, it's like, hey, we're not hanging out. I have work. Right?
Yeah.
Would you say that kind of helped you learn time management?
100%, bro. Like, I think back to when I was in college and shit. I was like a varsity athlete, a scholar, like at like a 90% GPA. I was working. I was involved in like a bunch of clubs at school. I didn't fucking sleep, bro. I slept for like 5-6 hours a night, and I was like back on the train to school. And man, like I loved every minute of it. But I was like, I've never been so productive in my life, but I've also never been so busy as I was back then. And like working was a huge part of that. A lot of people I went to school with like did almost as many things as me, but they didn't work. They're like, I don't know how you work on top of all of this school shit too.
Right.
It's because like I've been working every day of my life since I was like 15. It's just what I do. I learned at a young age to do it.
Right.
So
So you probably noticed once you had a job and you had responsibilities, like girls probably started paying attention to that, right?
Bro, scarcity creates value. If you make your time scarce, it'll become more valuable to people.
Right. So did you find that like you versus the guys that were unemployed in grade 12, there's a big difference?
Oh, huge difference, bro. Because like people know, like, if you even know this too, like when you ask those people like, hey, do you want to hang out sometime? Like, yeah, man, like I'm free whenever. Just let me know whenever you want to hang out. You never make plans with those people because they just give you a lofty time. Like, yeah, whenever.
Yeah.
If you talk to someone who has a job, it's like, hey, do you want to hang out? Like, yeah, I can't Friday, but like Thursday night, we can do that. Like, I'm free that night.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy that if you have a job and like you are busy all the time, you make a fucking point to actually make plans with people. If you're never doing anything, you never do anything.
Yeah, dude. It's so true. Like, the only exceptions to that are one, people that work for themselves and can be like, yeah, I can fucking do whatever I want. Or two, the guys that up until about the age of 23, 24 are in that whole period of like, you know, part-time work, in school still, online. Like, I think one of the biggest tragedies of young men is they waste the first half of their 20s just fucking around, right? Like every weekend they're living out with the boys, having fun, chasing girls. Like I did that and it was really fun. But like, imagine if I put some of those hours that I was just playing video games, always available to just do whatever, into like learning how to start a business back then, or getting a YouTube channel started.
Yeah, bro. I feel like we figured it out a little later in life. Like,
dude,
imagine we knew what we know now at like 18.
Yeah.
Bro, I'd be like a millionaire at 21.
Dude, it's so funny you say that because I was reading a study yesterday about men and women and our differences in like marketplace value as far as dating goes, but also brain development. Okay. So a male's brain is half developed at about 15. Okay. So if you guys notice, when you're in high school, about 15 years old, you start to dress a little better. You come back from summer break and you're like bigger because puberty hit, right? Pubes, start fucking, you know, making out with chicks and stuff. Girls usually develop between like, you know, that 14 to 16 window. And then we fully mature at 30 as men. Our brain fully matures. Women, 22.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they got 8 years on us.
Wow. How'd they pull that off, man?
Bro, it's just a different fucking evolutionary characteristic they have.
Yo, no wonder girls around the world, man. They figured it out early.
Well, dude, you know what's interesting though is that what you were saying before, you didn't figure out all that shit that would have saved you a lot of time and money now in your first half of your 20s. It's probably because you weren't fully matured. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was not thinking at all long term. I was so stupid. And there'd be girls, like I'd be like 18, 19. Girls would be like you said. They'd be dating guys that are like 27, 28. And I'd be like, oh my God, like those guys are so old. Like, why are you with that guys? Now I get it.
Yeah.
It's because they have their life figured out.
I look back and think like, man, like what girl would have dated me back then?
Dude, I know.
I had nothing going for me, bro. Like, no,
Bro.
In hindsight, like no wonder that girl left me at the time. Like, what was I fucking doing? I was listening to Joe Rogan and like playing hockey. Like,
yeah, that's
I was
what
doing nothing with my time.
Right. But, you know, when you look at all the people you're hanging out with and doing that with, they're all doing that too. So you're like, oh, like I'm normal. As long as I'm better than like a little bit better than like the guys I hang out with. But like that's on that small high school scale. When you think of like the actual dating market, bro, bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah. And something you've said, which is interesting leading up to this moment in the podcast, is like people going off to university and now they're dealing with like an even more like idealistic pool of mates.
Yeah.
Right? Like the best of the best all going to university, high achieving, good looking people. Think about this, man, with social media and shit, like an average girl is getting DMs from guys who may not even be at that university, let alone that city.
No.
They could be across the fucking country, right? With a blue check mark.
Guys like me.
Yeah. Fuck, man. You know how many girls I match with on fucking Tinder? I go to their Instagram. It's followed by Jay Denmo.
Yeah.
Instant unmatch, bro.
Dude, it's
me and the boys
so
joke about
fucking
this,
true.
man. It's like if at Jay Denmo follows any of these girls.
Yeah. That's the personal. It's not the main.
That's how you know it's serious.
I know. Once in a while, I stumble across a chick that you follow on your personal, which is like super low key, and I'm like, dude, this guy definitely fucked that girl.
100%.
And that's just on social media, right? I mean, social media is the wormhole for girls, but like, if you're an attractive girl and you're like, I don't know, let's say 18, 19 years old, you're getting into every bar for free, okay? And girls don't go anywhere alone. And it's not even a safety thing. It's like if a girl wants to go to the fucking pop machine 10 feet away from her dorm, she needs to bring 3 girls with her. Like, it's like they can never be alone. Girls just need to be with other girls. That's why they have these huge group chats, right? This is actually an advantage for girls. They're very smart. Girls make friends based on feelings, emotions, and kind of like sharing that feeling. And guys, we like objects, we like items, we like activities. We're very visual. Girls are different in how they form connections, right? And because of that, they have these huge groups that offer us cushion for any time they go through something painful. Now, the female version of that is a girl goes through a breakup or some problems with a guy, right? Guy's like kind of being flaky on her. She thinks he's maybe cheating on her. What does she do? She's got 8 girls there telling her she's a queen, that she's great, telling her, hey, like, what about Chad across the hallway? You know, hey, you know what? Fuck him. Let's go get drunk tonight. Let's go to Mark's birthday party table at the club, you know?
Let's put it all over our stories too.
All over the stories. He's going to see all of it instantly, man.
Oh, man. Yeah.
The girls have each other's back so strong.
100%.
You know, if I was a girl, it's like, okay, sick, I got my girls, right? But if you're a guy, you don't have that support network, right? If you complain to another guy, the guy's like, fuck, man. Like, get out of here, bro. Like, that's, you know, you can't have that kind of, you need to be, first of all, you need to be accomplishing a goal, right? You need to be working towards something. You can't just hang out. You have to like, okay, let's go fucking, you know, shovel the driveway. We have to all go get our passport photos done, right? Men are very independent. It's kind of my way or the highway, especially as we get older. We have our own vision and we narrowly create a path. People can be a part of our path and we can trailblaze with other people. But for the most part, we know which way we're going, right?
Yeah.
Whereas women, there's still that fucking group of girls that they have. So that's an advantage of being a girl. You just have a deeper support network. That's the female side. Here's the male side, buddy. Simps. There's another term for these. It's called orbiters, okay? It's the guys that are there and they are fucking waiting, dreaming, planning and plotting for that one day where she removes the photos of her boyfriend from Instagram. Or when they kind of know that it's on the way to being over, she posts those pics of like, you know, hey, look what I'm doing, like on Instagram. Basically, women use Instagram as like a, hey, like, give me attention. It's throwing bait in the water, right?
Yeah.
Like, how many guys do you see thirst trapping on their Instagram story compared to women?
You know, like if she has the initials in her bio and then they go away and now it's just a heart with no initials.
Oh, dude.
That's your sign to fucking slide in right there.
It's almost over. It's hanging on.
There's fucking blood in the water at that point.
When you refresh, it could pop back on for a bit. A couple days go by, it's gone again. That's like somebody initiated a breakup, but they're back together. But it's like, you know, it's on the way out.
It's rocky at that point.
The friends are already preparing, like, you know, don't get back with him. Oh, you got back with him. Okay, that's okay. But like, they've already given you the strategy for how to get over it. And like, they've already affirmed you that if you do jump out of it, they got you. So a girl will dabble in a breakup, but then she'll be like, hey, it's not so bad out here. All of a sudden, all these guys are like, yo, let's chill.
Yeah.
I can just hop right on. This guy has a car. This guy's like got his own business.
This guy's got a boat.
This guy has a fucking blue check mark.
Oh.
This guy, all the other girls in my class want to fuck him.
No.
You know, this guy at the bar, he has such good social skills. Every time somebody leaves, they say, man, that guy's a beauty. Like, all of a sudden, you're like not paying attention to that kind of nice guy you knew in high school. And you have all this other out there. You're like, man, why was I with that guy in the first place? Boom. She's done, bro. She's
over.
Out of there.
Bro, and the simps, they're waiting for that moment, eh?
They're just waiting, bro.
And here's the problem, though. If we're talking about, like, simps, they're not waiting for that moment because they're like, yo, like, let's go. It's action time. They're waiting for that moment to be like, oh, you know, like, if you ever need someone to talk to about your feelings and your breakup, like, I'm here for you. Like, they try to play, like, the nice guy and think that that's going to, like, get them on the path to being a guy that she's dating. I always like to think, though, like, I feel like there's 2 types of guys that girls will talk to. And guys that are on the path to the friend zone, like guys who text them paragraphs and get to know them for a long time on a really deep emotional level and they're pen pals.
Yeah, reply right away.
Right away. And paragraphs and ask, how's your day going? Good morning, good night, all that kind of shit. That's the path to the friend zone. The other type of guys she's talking to are the guys that she's going to date.
Mm-hmm.
And like, they're not the same guy. Like, you cannot fucking
No.
jump from this path to this path. Like, they never cross. It's a fucking fork in the road. And you got to decide, like, early on when you're talking to a girl, like, what category is she putting me in?
Yeah.
Am I on the way to the friend zone or the date zone?
That's a big mistake I used to make. You start, wheeling a girl. The messages start out as simple, like, hey, smiley face, hey, back. And then it starts to escalate. But then it's like, oh, what did you do tonight? Or then, it's up like late at night. You stop hearing from them in the morning. They send you a little bit extra, like, oh, sorry, I had to go to sleep, or I fell asleep, whatever. But then there's that timeline where you go from casual one-line sentences to like bigger paragraphs. Then you get to a full paragraph. Then you get to 2, 3. Next thing you know, you guys are just pen pals, right?
Next thing you know, she's coming to you for advice about other guys that she's dating.
And you didn't see it coming.
No.
And then you got to pretend like you're busy. You stop replying all of a sudden. Oh, I wonder why he's not replying now. She knows, because before, when you guys are talking about your favorite band or whatever, paragraphs, instantly, 5-10 minutes. What did you do today? Oh, great, Oh, you worked this week. You always work Thursdays. Like, bro, done. So early on, you'd probably agree with this. What you have to do so that you don't get caught in the trap of sending fucking paragraphs with girls and becoming a pen pal in the friend zone is, after sending a couple of those like one line size-ish sentences, you're like, yo, let's hop on a phone call.
100%. I think like the point of texting is to set up dates.
Yes.
And that's when you get to know people, is like actually in person.
Yeah.
If your goal is to get to know someone with your thumbs, you're in for a real fucking hard time.
What are you going to talk about on the date?
Why would a girl go on a date with you when she knows everything about you because you've texted for 3 weeks?
Are you working this weekend? Let's do something on Saturday. Get in person. And then when you're in person, that's when you have the paragraph conversation, because every time you talk in person, it's a fucking paragraph.
Yeah.
Right?
And there's something much deeper about getting to know someone, like asking those questions to elaborate what they're talking about in person than over text. Like if she says like, oh, I had yoga today, you ask like, oh, like how long you been doing it? Like, oh, a year. It's like, what got you into it? Like now you're like really getting to know someone at a deeper level when you start to like pry deep into like what they're talking about, show that interest in them. If it's over text, it's like, it's hard to put like a face or a person to that. It's just words on a screen.
The feelings, the mood. Like girls aren't logical. They want emotions. Girls have like fucking 500 different emotions. Guys have like 4 different emotions. Like happy, angry, bored, horny, chill.
Hungry too. That's a big one for us.
Big one. Get the boys a farmer's wrap. But girls, it's like amused, excited, interested, intrigued, fascinated, moody, sad, skirmish. Like it just. I made an analogy in the course. When a guy goes to buy a fucking blue shirt at the store, he's like, oh, it's blue. I got the shirt. When a girl goes to buy a blue shirt at the store, you got fucking teal, light blue, dark blue, medium blue, navy, indigo, fucking baby blue, cobalt, teal, aqua. I mean, there's 500 different blues.
Yeah.
Right? And those are like the emotions a woman experiences on a daily basis. And you need to be able to stimulate those. It's got to be like a roller coaster for her. If you keep her like the same linear, consistent path, she's going to be like, this is boring as fuck. You got to go on tips and turns, ups and downs. Like you have to keep her guessing about what's coming around the corner. You
got to keep it playful. You got to be spontaneous. You got to know when to dig deep and when not to pry.
Yeah.
There's nuance to it.
If you're going to dig deep, you got to do it in person, bro.
100%.
The conversations you have with a girl on a date, if you put that on paper, it would be like a novel, right? And there's no way you can possibly expect her to concentrate that into like 1 or 2 paragraphs. I mean, women are fucking nuts. They are definitely good at doing that. Like, you don't want to be on the bad end of a girl sending you paragraphs.
We've all been there, buddy.
And the bubbles?
Oh my God.
There's more.
The 3 dots pop up.
Dude, fucking brutal.
Bro, I just turn off my phone at that point.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah.
So anyways, we're going to get to the wrap up point of this episode. Basically, let's cover some of the stuff we did. So there is a big initiation process being a man when you transition from high school to university and college. And not all men actually go to university or college, but that general age group, right? Statistically, more women go to university and college. And from what I understand, to put things in the layman's terms, men make a decent amount of money, marry a woman that does, nurse, teacher, doctor, like, blue, white collar job, good looking, good genetics, hot daughter with money. Hot daughter with money, where does she go?
Queens.
That's right. University.
Yeah.
So once they're at university, though, not only are they like hot, they have all their friends with them, they have status, they have a cottage to go home to. That's the fucking classic right there. But they have just exposure to all these really high level guys, right? And if you're just a good, nice guy in high school, you don't know the real world yet. You don't even know about that ocean of options a woman has. You just think, oh, like whatever status you have, that's good enough for them. It's not. You're competing with the world after 18. So going over some tips: fitness, getting your style on point, grooming. You have to dress like an adult, okay? You can tell a high schooler just by looking at the way they dress. You can tell a guy in his early 20s that vapes and smokes weed and plays video games by the hoodies he wears. Like, it's pretty easy to spot a guy and know his status when you're in your 20s. You need to get a job. That way you understand time management. And like, I didn't get a job till the end of high school. And I would recommend getting a customer service job, a retail job, because like, you on a daily basis, you were talking to like what? How many people do you think? 50, 60?
At least, man. On a weekend, it was in the hundreds for sure.
Men and women too.
Yeah, and bro, that could be something as simple as like literally being a cashier at fucking McDonald's or Taco Bell.
Yeah.
You're going to be interacting with people all day long, and time fucking flies too. It's easy money.
Yeah, yeah. By the end of it too, you know all the best openers. Like, you know what people are going to say. You know whatever talking points the customer you served before you said, you're going to know how to like predict what the next customer is going to say and go that next step further and carrying the conversation on. Like, okay, well, if they talk about the weather, they're either going to go positive or negative. If they go positive, they're going to go to this, negative to that. And you can kind of understand the framework of a conversation.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're checking somebody out at the register and you have like a perfect interaction with them. And I'm not talking about like it's a fucking girl you're trying to wheel. It could be an old man. But like, you have like a perfect interaction where there's no stutters, your intonation's on point, and then you even make the guy laugh because you're witty. You know what he's going to say. You know, you have something set up for that.
Yeah.
And it applies the same way to picking up girls. You have things to jump to wherever they take the conversation.
100%, man. The amount of momentum you would get from that job, it will go everywhere in your life.
Oh, yeah.
It's
now you're
so
lubricated.
transferable. Oh,
right?
yeah.
8 hours into a shift talking to people. Like, that's one of the things with my old pickup line videos, guys. Like, I was doing them all the time, but the reason that they worked is because before I would go out and shoot them, I was running a property management business. So I would go around to all the houses, talk to like 10 to 15 tenants, be like, hey, like, did you guys do the garbage and recycling this week? When are you going to pay rent? Like, I was very socially lubricated by the time I got there. So I was used to talking that day. If you go out there in the real world and you don't speak to anybody earlier that day, you're going to stutter, you're going to fuck up, you're going to underspeak too. You're like, hey, you know, like, think about the first conversation you have in the morning, bro.
Yeah. I just grumble through it, you know?
It's bad.
Yeah.
But what if you're already awake for 5 hours?
Oh, yeah. You're like, hey, buddy, how are you? Like, what's going on, man?
No, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
if you're awake for 4 or 5 hours and you still haven't talked to anybody yet.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always awkward, man. If you're alone all day and then you go to like Starbucks and just get a coffee or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I do that. Like, if I know I'm going to be alone all day, I'll just go to Starbucks so I can talk to a fucking human being.
Dude, yeah, that's what I recommend. Like, as far as actual advice, guys, like, go on your daily routine mission to get a fucking coffee or go to the gym or both if you can. But, like, just have a couple icebreakers. Talk to some people. Ask them how they're doing. You know, if you have friends and you live by yourself, but you can call them and be like, yo, like, are you working today? Just get that ice broken. And then after that, your social skills are nice and warmed up. But getting back to the transitioning from high school to university and college and your girlfriend going away, guys, she's probably going to leave you. And it's not your fault. There's just guys that are higher value, better choice for her, more brought to the table. And here's what I think is really interesting too. A lot of guys know this is going to happen or predict it's going to happen, and they start to improve themselves. They start working out. They get their grooming on point. They get a job. They understand the value of money, social skills, and they start to prepare to have all these groups and high value things that they can get involved in. And then they go away to college and university. And then they're the guy that's high value, is all of these things, and now is using these skills in a college and university setting compared to the other 90% of guys who have no idea what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're standing out even more. And now you have like 60% of the population already being girls, a lot of them single, and they're looking for these high value guys, and they're out there, but you know, like at the club or like on the street or at the bar, but you're seeing them every day. So right away, like even though maybe you're not as wealthy or you're not as well groomed or you don't have as much status, the fact that you're like still tiers above all the other guys in school and you're around them every single day on a daily basis, like absolute game changer.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
There's levels to this shit.
And the unintentional side effect too. When you're the guy in university or college that has a girl back home, but you can't fuck with any of the chicks at the parties, all the girls want to bang you, bro.
So true, bro.
Every time, man. I had some buddies that were like your classic cool dude, like, you know, has a girl back home. All he worries about is school and his friends and social circles and sports and money. Like, doesn't give a fuck about girls. Just treats them like other guys, pretty much. Girls are drawn to that. They want the guy that ignores them. They want the guy that doesn't have time for them. And when he does make time for them, it's precious because, like you said earlier, he has obligations, he has responsibilities, and they want somebody that is scarce with their time, right?
It's like the opposite of those guys who are orbiting, like the simpy guys we were talking about earlier as well.
Yeah. If you're leaping into university, guys, you have to, like, that stuff won't fly, you know? And I will say this, though, college, university, it's not like some competitive, oh, you have to get pussy, fucking, you have to bang chicks.
Maybe for you.
Yeah. Well, to all the guys out there that have, you know, too much pressure on them and they think like, fuck, there's no way I can live up to this expectation. College and university is actually way better than high school. In fact, anything outside of high school is way better than high school. High school only matters when you're in high school. That's it.
Yeah, if you're in university right now and you're like, man, like, why don't I have that many friends or any girls that I talk to? Like, join a fucking club. You're going to meet so many people just getting involved in shit in university.
Dude, just tell your friends. Just honestly, the elephant in the room. Guys, like, everything's online. We're not chilling. Like, yo, every weekend, let's start meeting up. Let's do this. Start your own club. It's easier than ever, right? Yeah. And it seems scary to be the one starting something, but like, people are drawn to leaders. There's the old saying, like, if a sheep jumps off a cliff, are you going to jump with it? Majority of people will be like, oh, no, I wouldn't. But like in real life, that's where the analogy comes from. People see somebody going one direction. They assume they know where they're going. They assume they know what they're doing, and they follow them. That has to be you with your social skills and your status with groups of other people. Any closing thoughts?
Buddy, 2022 is going to be a big fucking year.
Okay, shout out to all the young kings that are watching this. Obviously, we're going to focus more content on guys our age, in our 20s, and we'll probably do older stuff too, like a lot of guys. I'd say there's a window for men. There's like the 18 to 24 range being a guy, and then there's also like the 25 to 38 range, and those are two different statuses and points of a man's life. We're going to cover more of the latter later, but I think this was a good introduction to the birth of those men that are 25 to 38. They have to go through that windmill from getting out of high school, accepting the reality of life, going through those first heartbreaks, and then making the leap into the real world.
Yeah, man. Every villain has his origin story.
That's right. Stay toxic. Guys, join the fucking Discord. Link is in the description below. What did you think about this? Drop a comment below. And if you guys have ideas for something that you heard in the show or something you want to see next time, drop it in the comments below. Hit the like button. Share this with your friends. Send this to a guy that had his fucking heart broken, and he's going to make the same mistake again to prevent it from happening to him again. And we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.